Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Key Stage 1 Maths webinar, which is going to be held by myself, that's Ms. Khusboo, and I'm the head of Key Stage 1 Maths for primary this year. So let's get started. So in maths, basically, there is a yearly overview. Now, the yearly overview helps the teachers and the parents to understand the different topics and the blocks that would be covered throughout the year in that particular year group. Like, for example, number place value within 10. So this topic or this concept would be covered in week 2, week 3, week 4 in the autumn term. If we look at multiplication and division, so multiplication and division in year 1 would be covered during spring term, that is the second term of the year. So the yearly overview basically gives you and us an idea and understanding of how the topics will be covered and most importantly, when they will be covered during the year. So this is the yearly overview for year 1. And here is the yearly overview for year 2. Okay, so talking about the curriculum, this year we have introduced the White Rose curriculum in math. And the 3 aims of this curriculum is going to be fluency, reasoning, and problem solving. So, fluency is basically to become fluent at solving problems related to different topics in math. The second part after fluency comes reasoning, where the children are given some questions and they are expected to give their justification, state their argument, explain their answers, which becomes reasoning. So, why they think the way it is, for which they have to give the reason. And of course, that is where the children first need to understand the fluency. They need to understand the problems and how to solve them. Only then they will be able to attempt the reasoning questions and justify their answers. And the third step is problem solving. So problem solving is basically applying their mathematics knowledge into a variety of routine and non-routine problems that are posed in front of them within the lesson. So each lesson that is taught in a primary in maths is broken down into 3 simple steps. That is fluency, the second comes reasoning, and the third is problem solving. Differentiation through depth of learning. Now, all the subjects that are taught in primary are definitely differentiated as per the needs and the understanding of the children in the different year groups. But usually what happens is instead of differentiating in topics and giving easier and harder topics, the differentiation actually is done in terms of varying the depth of learning. So for example, if a teacher is teaching a particular topic, she can choose if she wants to differentiate in the lesson within the materials. So the children receive the support of different concrete materials that they can use to understand the topic better. Like for example, if the children are doing place value or addition and subtraction in Key Stage 1, the teacher will then provide them with concrete materials like tens and ones for them to be able to make certain numbers and understand the topic better with the resources provided. The next way to differentiate can be effective questioning. So effective questioning allows the learners to think more deeply, to look up for the answers and to justify the answer that they are providing. The next way to differentiate could be giving students templates or support for their work. Like, for example, the teacher can give them a pre-made template about a topic, and then the children can work on it. And then, of course, the last step, as I told you earlier about the reasoning part, so the teacher will provide them with the reasoning questions and the children show their written explanations for it, or they also present their answers. in a particular way or a particular format to their class or their friends at the same table. Now, concrete, pictorial, abstract. So this is another approach that we follow in Key Stage 1 in primary, where all the topics and the lessons in math start with concrete, then going up slowly to abstract. So concrete is basically where we provide the children with supporting resources, with concrete materials for them to be able to understand the topic much better in the initial stage of it. So, like, for example, as I told you a while ago, if we teach the children place value or addition and subtraction, we give them the tens and ones resources for them to be able to show the representations of different numbers. If we learn money, for example, so in this term, we are going to start to learn money in year 2. So if the teachers are teaching children money, they will hand over the currencies to the children, like notes and coins. And that's how we will get the children to learn about the UK currency, about the pounds and the pence. So, for example, giving them tens and ones roads, counters, blocks. So once the children are confident with the concrete aspect of the math lesson, then we move on to pictorial. So pictorial is basically drawing what they have learned. So instead of using the concrete resources, the children now move on to the second part of the lesson, that is the pictorial representations where the children draw to showcase their learning. After the pictorial aspect, the third thing that comes is the abstract. So abstract is basically where the children are solving particular set of problems mentally and independently themselves. So that is where abstract comes in. So this approach is basically, it teaches the children on how to show the maths and not just do the maths. So when the children are following the CPA approach, that is concrete, pictorial, and abstract, they can then scaffold their learning very, very clearly and justify their answers to an adult or to their friends within the math lesson. Collins Mental Maths. So as part of the book selection this year, all the children in primary are provided with the Collins Mental Maths workbook. Now, this mental maths book is filled with a lot of mini tests that the children complete independently, or at least they attempt to complete independently. Children are expected to complete at least 3 pages every week during registration time. So when they arrive at school, the expectation is that the children take their Collins Mental Maths book from their cubby and they sit and finish a page during registration time. So they have to finish 3 in the whole week. So please make sure that your children come to school on time so that they can engage in the Collins Mental Maths activity. Online platforms, as the webinar earlier was provided for Doodle Maths. Doodle Maths is definitely an important learning platform that we have launched in Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 this year. So Doodle Maths is seamlessly integrated with the maths teaching and learning this year. There is another platform that you can use, which is Doodle Tables, and the children can use the same login that they use for Doodle Maths to log into Doodle Tables to practice their times tables in Key Stage 1. Assessments. Now, there are 4 key assessments that take place. There are 4 key assessments that take place throughout the year in Key Stage 1. The first is the baseline assessment that happens at the start of the academic year. So the baseline assessment is basically a set of questions that is provided to the children helps the teacher to understand where the child comes from and what topics is the child very well versed with and the topics they don't understand very well. And that is how we inform the lesson plans accordingly. So baseline assessment is a type of assessment that is conducted at the beginning of the academic year. And then there are 3 assessments at the end of every term. So end of autumn term, end of spring term, and end of summer term. There will be 1 assessment each for the end of every term throughout the year. End of block assessments. So basically, these are short assessments which are like formative assessments that inform the teacher on how well the children have understood a particular topic or a concept in the math lesson. So based on the performance of the children in the class, then the data helps the teachers to make informed decision about the future lesson planning. And then the teachers strive to teach those topics and cover the topics where they feel that the children need more practice with. So the end of block assessments are just like short activities that the teacher conducts in the classroom for them to know how much the children have understood with regards to a particular concept or a topic in math. Now, homework. So in Key Stage 1, the children are expected to complete 10 minutes a day on Doodle Math as homework when they go home. The target for them is to stay in the green zone every day. So please ensure that your child attempts to do Doodle Math every day in the evening or at night for 10 minutes a day. And the target needs to be that they have to stay in the green zone. And when required, the teacher will assign some additional activities on Doodle Math that also the children can finish at home. Okay, so that's about it from me. And thank you so much, parents, for watching today. If you have any more questions about maths in Key Stage 1, please email your child's class teacher in the first instance, since they will be the best people to communicate and to answer any queries that you may have. And if you still need any further support, please feel free to drop me an email on the below mentioned email ID. And thank you so much for watching.